What does it mean to be haunted? As we imagine, a place takes on a different personality once the sun sets. A hidden part of reality opens up, allowing ghosts, ghouls, and phantoms to roam as they will, affecting the world and lives around them. To be haunted can also mean that yesterday overwhelms today. Long past joys and successes echo from times gone by, a cruel reminder of what once was compared to what remains. Although here, the living can be more frightening than the dead. Detroit is very much a haunted city. Famous for its magnificent cars and its culture-changing music, Motown captures our imaginations due to its Icarian legacy. As a city that once enjoyed incredible splendor, followed by a fall into tremendous ruin, Detroit holds its ghosts. Its Indian and immigrant history created a collision of different supernatural fables that merge man with beast, the living with the dead, the past with the present, feast with famine, and the natural and normal to the supernatural and paranormal. One theory about the supernatural states that water may act as an energy conductor, instigating manifestations of spiritual energy. Vast lakes and rivers dominate the landscape of southeastern Michigan, where Detroit was settled. Located on the edge of the Detroit River, which connects the Great Lakes Erie and Huron, the city of Detroit grew within a part of North America that is surrounded by bodies of water. The Detroit River provides a border between Windsor, Canada, and Detroit itself, one of the major cities leading into the rest of the United States. Meanwhile, running beneath the Detroit pavement is a complex network of streams and subterranean rivers. Detroit is as fascinating below as it is above. Aside from its abundance of water, the city rests on top of massive salt reserves. Salt, a common ingredient used in spiritual ceremonies, is known for casting away evil if used correctly. However, it's also known as an absorbent that can trap energies within spaces. Because Detroit is a watery area located on top of uniquely large reservoirs of salt, in theory, the natural properties of the land provide fuel for spirits, as well as possibly trapping their energies within its confines. The current troubled status of Detroit is in direct contrast with its historical and geographic value. The waterways of the area provided travel routes and rich resources for the Indians who settled here. The 17th century brought European explorers who were eager to exploit those riches and the potential of the land. By the time the French reached the shores of what would become Detroit, the region already was filled with stories of the supernatural. The Ottawa Indians believed that the area was formed by powerful spirits of water and earth, some of which were benevolent, while others were best avoided. When a person went missing in the woods, it was possible that they had been taken away by the Wendigo, or Wendigo, a dangerous and beastly spirit that was known for eating its human prey. Some believed that the Wendigo was a nature demon, while others perceived it as the ghost of a wicked person who may have sinned against his tribe by committing acts of selfishness, or even cannibalism. One of the earliest European legends in the area discussed men who turned into wolves. Was it possible that foreign and native folklore merged in agreement, warning solitary travelers to beware of man-eating monsters within the forests? Belle Isle, a small island in the middle of the Detroit River, is one of the few spots where woods still remain within the city limits. Once a recreational area for the city's wealthy at the turn of the 20th century, it still serves as an island park for locals, as well as a location for special events. Belle Isle may be the one place within Detroit where danger continues to lurk within the shadows of a forest. For many years, people reported seeing a woman in white beckoning to them, as though she wanted to show them something away from the roads. Legends say that she wants to lead you through the woods and into the swamps. What she has to show you there is anyone's guess, but it's believed that those who follow her are never to return. Another woman in white haunts the Detroit area. In Westland, a white lady appears near the old William Ganong Cemetery, also called the Butler Cemetery. She materializes near the road, distracting drivers and in some cases even causing traffic accidents. When the drivers stop to see if the woman needs help, she is, of course, nowhere to be seen. Detroit is infamous for what vanishes from it, for what it loses. Throughout the 19th century, the former Michigan capital built itself up along with the rest of the United States. Due to its furs, trading, location, and shipping routes, Detroit piqued the interest and investment of the nation's elite. Automotive and industrial innovation in the early 1900s brought in more residents, turning the city into a vibrant and powerful American metropolis. The future seemed to promise more success, but that success did not last. Jobs disappeared and populations shifted. The local industries that had generated Detroit's wealth declined and transformed. The city became a shadow of its former self. Ghosts appear where there is unfinished business. Like every other great American city, Detroit had its fair share of crime during the Prohibition. Because of its waterways and proximity to Canada, Chicago, and New York, smuggling alcohol was a lucrative venture for the local crime lords. The Purple Gang was a force to be reckoned with. One house nearby used to be their headquarters and still contains the drama of these gangsters. Its current owner dreamed of encountering hanging men on the stairwell and opening closets to have a terrifying laughing wind rush out at them. This house is no longer being used as a residence. Helmet Park in Warren also contains an unpleasant phantom who appears as a screaming, ghoulish man in black. He enjoys hitting car roofs with his fist and generally terrifying teenagers. Not all ghosts of Detroit are menacing. One local cemetery attracted visits from a girl who connected with a nice young man in a hat and jacket who was very pleasant to be around. After spending a while visiting with him, she realized that maybe he was more familiar with the cemetery than she had originally anticipated. Now, some ghosts prefer to stay in the shadows, while others enjoy connecting with the living. There are certain haunts in Motown that are under constant observation. At the Detroit Institute of Arts, one gallery holds an imposing painting by Rembrandt Peale called The Court of Death. It has been reported that disturbing bangs and crashes take place in this room long after the museum is closed. Upon investigation, nothing is found to be out of place. The painting, with its dark and sinister subject matter, is thought to be the cause of these unexplained sounds. The Institute of Arts may hold an additional energetic spirit. An African statue known as the Nail Figure has its own legend attached to it. It is believed that the nail figure comes to life during some nights. He is able to release himself from his display, perform a ritualistic dance, and run through the museum. Eventually, he runs out of steam and retires back to his box. It has never been reported that he has actually exited the museum. At least, not yet. Detroit's strangest apparition is another little man who is not easily seen, but when he does choose to materialize, his appearances bring calamity. He is called the Nun Rouge, or the Red Dwarf. After Detroit's founder, Antoine de Cadillac, witnessed this devilish creature, his fortunes quickly crumbled. He was spotted frequently during the War of 1812, The appearances of the Red Dwarf continued into the 20th century, serving as a harbinger of doom for the city in general, and especially to those individuals who were unlucky enough to have glimpsed him. Citizens reported seeing him in 1967, right before a series of inner-city riots. He was observed crawling up a utility pole preceding a terrible ice storm in 1976. Supposedly, the Red Dwarf can still make appearances from time to time when he is in the mood for creating havoc. Detroit has seen its fair share of misfortune. Hopefully, the Red Dwarf and the dark storm clouds that hang over the city will eventually dissipate. Hopefully, Motown will get the chance to rise up from its own ashes and recreate itself. As of now, Detroit remains a troubled place. Shadowed by its past and its ghostly inhabitants, the city on the river continues to be both haunting and truly haunted.